Hello everyone, this video is to show the Roto layer QC tool and how it can be used to QC Rotos and send to vendors and receive files for later use in comp. So to find this tool, you can easily go to GitHub. If you go to github.com/emilmassy and then you get into your Foundry Nuke tools, you can go see the nodes and gizmos. There's two nodes here we're gonna have a look over. The first one is the Roto layer QC. So if you just grab this, this is very easily shareable or sendable to anyone. That's the whole goal of it. So you can send this to any vendors or any person you work with that you want to QC their work, and then it becomes very easy for them to export one single file for you to look at and QC the work. So the way this works is very easy. We start by plugging the plate in the plate, and then we have a couple of options here. The first option is the obvious one, the grab selected roto nodes. So if I don't select anything, it will ask me to select something. If I also grab this one, it will not. But if I put two other roto nodes here, it can be roto nodes or any kind of node. So it could be also a group node, it could be a shuffle node that's coming from somewhere else, and it will grab those nodes and change their name and connect them properly for Roto QC. So if I, let's say, do this little shape here, that's one, and then that's the other one will do the other side. And I'm gonna put some feathering here to show you how it works when you have, like, let's say, motion blur or something. Now you can select that node, you can select the roto nodes. Once they are selected, you just grab them, and then you can easily use them to say whatever you want. So there's a couple of controls here. It's not very, very important, but it's very useful if you do templating down the line in compositing. This way you can use those information that are burned into the name of your roto layer. So it's very useful to just, like, put them in depth or put them by type or sort them if you ever need to. So let's go with depth. I'm gonna put 100 meters or feet or whatever the numbers people want. And one of them will be the right side, and the other one will be the left underscore side here. Both of them are set. So I'll just do OK, and you'll see what happens. It links it and adds individual controls here for every one of them. If I look at my Roto layer QC, this is what I have now. And you can see it gives me also other layers. So this is meant to be looked in RV or in reviewing software. So you can see a bunch of QC options in that EXR file. The edge QC is for the soft edge and the hard edge. And then you can see you have control here. So if your artist is, let's say the shot is very bright and I want to see better, you can ask them to do edge opacity stronger so you can see better what happens. And you have, of course, here your controls over how you merge your rotos. I genuinely go by either screen or max. Default to max is my go-to. Here, and these are when the shapes overlap, and mainly for the composite color, which is here. So the composite will show you, if you want a specific color or isolation to see better your QC. Something usually like 75% or 0.5% is usually my go-to, so I'm gonna stick it at that for now. And obviously in the RGBA you have the color opacity that will allow you to have your color opacity here. Something like 0.5 is also good for me. Then you can change, of course, your colors. So very easy for the artist to say, like, okay, everything here is like blue, and this is I don't know, another color. So very easily, or they can just like easily pick the color they want if they want to show how the separation is done. Even though this is all in the same thing, you also have the option here to show alphas in GUI. What this means is right now we only see those layers, but if I show them in the GUI, now I will have all my alphas individually that will be sent to comp. The reason why we don't show them by default is for when we do like a layer breakout or a layer contact sheet. When you plug this in here and we show layer names, you'll see RGBA. There we go. You'll see here everything you get all the layers that you get that you can look into RV. If you render that on the farm or without the GUI, it will also render the the individual layers by themselves. The reason why we don't show them is when there's a lot of them, it's easier for Nuke to skip that that loading. You know, we don't want to load 1200 layers or 1200 separation into our GUI, so the artist can like work super fast and there's no slowdown. But if you do have to render locally with your GUI, your graphic user interface open, you will have to check show alpha in GUI so that they get rendered properly. And this will be your output that you can view in RV. Usually I render here, so I render that node, and then in RV I like to switch to my layers to make sure they are, you know, sent properly. All of the roto layers start with an underscore and a number. So these give you the depth, the type, and the name that the people put. These are the ones that you might want to use in comp. So after this, even though you have the composite and the edge QC, you can send that whole file to comp, and comp can then shuffle those layers and use them just as alphas. Or you can have a pipeline that will remove the composite and the edge QC of your pipeline, up to you. I kind of myself like to have the composite and the edge QC as a compositor, because this allows me to very easily see what I or there's the normal RGBA, because this allows me to see very easily what the version of the roto is, and the separation of my layers, and then I can just, you know, go and guess which one I want. There we go. We're gonna go here and go back here. Now this will work with anything, so you can add another shuffle layer, or you can also rename them. So if you don't like what you have, and let's say you don't need the left one anymore, but you just need the right one, just keep this one selected and grab it again, and then you see it has memory, so it remembers how it was before, but it will also allow you to change it. So let's say right side in that case, because I forgot or I missed, and it was another different value or whatever. And it was, let's say, a character. And then when I do this, you see everything reshuffles, everything restarts, and you can also see you have your right side now. If you want to do that again, you can also grab again, and then you have your right side, your left side together, and then of course they get shuffled properly, and every appearances changes as well. The last step is, let's say you are in Silhouette, and in Silhouette, if you do multi-output node, just the alphas. So I have like all these rotos here, these elements you can see, and I export them into a multi-layer EXR. This will give me that render here that I have here. If you just do a layer contact sheet of this, you can see what Silhouette has done. But I have another additional tool you can grab in the same GitHub. So if you go back into GitHub, in the same GitHub, you have the layer breakout. And what the layer breakout does is basically it grabs any render or anything and will split the layers. So if I do this, you'll see I have my layers, and then I can use this in my roto layer QC. So if I select this, and then I go and grab the selected roto nodes, I can see which one are which, and then name them properly, how they're supposed to. So this will allow you to change the name. Let's say, I don't know, this one is the window, this, and it's a set, it's about 50. So this has to be done once by the people who made the roto, by the artist itself, for the person to QC to have all the information, and for comp to have it down the line properly. So body, then we have head, and then we have an additional set element. And these are set, these are characters, and I won't bother for the depth for right now, but if I press OK, you can see it gives me a proper QC of how I have my stuff, and you can see all the layers properly populated and sent in a very nice way. So I think I can change, of course, the aspects. If like two of them match, I can change here so that they can see better that this is a character. And then I have the head specifically, so the head will be blue. And then you can see, of course, my head is overlaid by the main one, but if you want, you can remove just this one. So let's just select those three, and then have this way you can see like all the segmentation properly. And the person who QCs can QC using all these elements or extract the roto themselves down the line. And as you can see, they have the proper name. So when you layer breakout, you can layer breakout as well. So you would have here your render, right? Like a read node. that would be you render this out, and then it will give you something like this. You will have like you will have like your read node from your render here, and then the person can QC easily, or they can also layer break out themselves and then have all the rotos split properly, and also have their shuffle, edge QC, and composite. They might not want this, they might not want this, but at least they can use all the rotos here very, very easily, showing what's what. That's pretty much it for now. If you have any comments or suggestion, please let me know. There's a section in the GitHub for this. But yes, this is the simplest way we found to send stuff to vendors. And of course, you can, again, select multiple elements that you already have, and it will populate no matter what the element is. It will be okay and show you all your statistics. So yeah, hope this helps.